Have you ever wondered how a division within a kingdom can change the course of history? Let's travel back in time to 1,000 years before Christ, to the land of the pharaohs, Egypt. A time when the kingdom was divided, not by natural barriers like rivers or mountains, but by the hands of its own people. The south, often referred to as Upper Egypt, was under the rule of priests from Thebes. These spiritual leaders held immense power, wielding their influence in both the religious and political spheres. They interpreted the will of the gods, guiding the people in their daily lives and in their service to the divine. On the other hand, the North or Lower Egypt was governed by the pharaohs, the traditional rulers of the land. The pharaohs were seen as living gods, their rule was absolute, and their word was law. But this dual rule, this division of power, led to internal strife and power struggles, a tug-of-war between two mighty forces. Religion played a crucial role in this division. The priests of Thebes, with their spiritual authority, challenged the divine rule of the pharaohs. They questioned their legitimacy, sowing seeds of doubt among the people. This was not just a power struggle, it was a fight for the hearts and minds of the people of Egypt. Politics, too, was a major player. The pharaohs, once absolute rulers, found their power challenged not only by the priests but also by the growing influence of the nobility. The nobles, emboldened by the division, began to vie for power, further complicating the delicate balance of power. And so, Egypt found itself divided, its unity shattered. The south and the north, once parts of a glorious whole, now stood at odds. The division was more than just a political split. It was a seismic shift that would change the course of Egypt's history forever. This division was not just a political split, it marked a major shift in Egypt's historical trajectory. Imagine a time when the sacred resting places of the greats were not safe. This was Egypt in 1000 BC. The division of Egypt had left the kingdom in a state of turmoil, creating an opportunity for those with less than honorable intentions. The tombs, once protected by the unity and strength of the kingdom, now lay vulnerable to the greed and desperation of bandits. As the south was ruled by priests from Thebes and the north by the pharaohs, the lack of centralized control made it easy for these tomb raiders to operate with impunity. These were not ordinary tombs. They were the final resting places of the greats, housing treasures of immeasurable value, both in terms of their material worth and their historical significance. Artifacts, jewelry, and sacred texts, each telling a piece of the rich tapestry that was ancient Egyptian culture, were stolen, lost to the annals of history. These raids were more than just acts of theft. They were a brutal assault on the cultural heritage of Egypt. Each tomb that was raided meant a piece of history, a story, a life was lost. Imagine a library being burned down, its books turned to ashes, their stories forever silenced. That's the kind of cultural and historical loss we're talking about here. But it wasn't just the loss of artifacts that was devastating. The tombs themselves were works of art, meticulously designed and built to honor the dead. The desecration of these sacred sites was a blow to the very identity of ancient Egypt. It's a dark chapter in the history of this civilization, a time when the glory of the pharaohs was tarnished by the actions of thieves. But as we delve deeper into this period, we'll see how the people of Egypt rose from these challenges, creating new ways to protect their heritage and their dead. These raids were not just acts of theft, they were assaults on Egypt's cultural heritage and identity. What happens when a divided kingdom faces a common enemy? The events of 701 BC provide a compelling answer. Picture this: Egypt, divided into two, with the south ruled by priests from Thebes and the north by the pharaohs. The kingdom was already in turmoil, struggling to maintain its glory and grandeur when it was challenged by a formidable foreign power. In 701 BC, a powerful ruler emerged from the east. The Neo-Assyrian ruler Sennacherib, a name that would etch itself into the annals of history, launched a major attack. But Egypt wasn't alone in facing this threat. Hezekiah of Judah, Lul king of Sidon, Sidka, the king of Ascalon, and the king of Ekron, they all saw the looming danger. In a desperate attempt to resist the onslaught of the Neo-Assyrians, these disparate kingdoms formed an alliance with Egypt. They hoped that their combined might would be enough to withstand the formidable force of Assyria. But it was not to be. Sennacherib was not a ruler to be taken lightly. He led his army with strategic precision, conquering Ascalon, Sidon, and Ekron. The alliance had failed to halt his progress. The last bastion of resistance was Egypt, the once great kingdom, now divided and weakened. Despite their valiant efforts, the Egyptians were defeated. Sennacherib's army drove them from the region, a crushing blow to their pride and prestige. The defeat at the hands of the Neo-Assyrians was more than just a military setback. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of power and influence. Egypt's once mighty presence in the region was significantly diminished. But as we'll see in the next scene, this was not the end of the story. The resilient people of Egypt, faced with adversity, rose to the challenge and embarked on a new journey. A journey that would lead to the creation of African Built, a testament to their enduring spirit. This defeat was not just a military setback, it was a blow to Egypt's regional influence and power. In the face of adversity, a civilization finds a way to leave its mark. This was the case with the ancient Africans of Egypt. As the Egyptian civilization grappled with division and conflict, a new phenomenon began to take shape. This was the creation of African Built, a series of small pyramids scattered throughout Africa, primarily in Sudan. It was a testament to the tenacity and adaptability of this ancient civilization, that even in the face of such turmoil, they were able to create something so enduring and profound. Now you might wonder, why Sudan? Well, the ancient Africans of Egypt were not just confined to the boundaries of what we now know as Egypt. They were a migratory people, spreading their knowledge, culture, and architectural prowess across the African continent. Sudan, with its vast plains and fertile lands, was a prime destination for these migrating Egyptians. And so, these small pyramids began to dot the Sudanese landscape. But they were not just mere structures of stone and sand. No, they were much more than that. They were symbols of resilience, adaptation, and the indomitable spirit of a civilization that refused to bow down to adversity. Each pyramid was a testament to the architectural genius of the ancient Africans of Egypt. They were built with precision and care, their geometric perfection a testament to the mathematical and architectural prowess of their creators. They were smaller than their Egyptian counterparts, yes, but they were no less impressive. And most importantly, they were a beacon of hope in a time of turmoil and conflict. They stood tall and proud, a reminder of a civilization that, despite all odds, continued to thrive and innovate. They were a symbol of a people who refused to be defined by their circumstances, who chose instead to carve their own path, to leave their own mark on the world. These pyramids were not just structures, they were symbols of resilience and adaptation in the face of adversity. What ripple effects can a divided kingdom and a major foreign attack have on a civilization and a continent? It's a question that leads us to the heart of the profound impact that these tumultuous events had on Egypt and Africa around 1000 BC. The division of Egypt between the priests of Thebes in the south and the pharaohs in the north created an internal tension that was a catalyst for significant change. The raids on the great tombs, driven by this division, led to a shift in cultural practices and attitudes towards wealth and death, as the people had to adapt to this turbulent new reality. The first major foreign attack, a pivotal event in this narrative, had far-reaching consequences. When the ruler Sennacherib of the Neo-Assyrian Empire attacked the rebels, he didn't just conquer Ascalon, Sidon, and Ekron. He also dealt a massive blow to the Egyptians, driving them from the region. This defeat marked a turning point in the history of Egypt, as it signaled the end of its reign as a dominant power in the region. In response to these events, the creation of African Built, small pyramids scattered throughout Africa, mainly in Sudan, marked a geographic and cultural shift. These structures signified a new era of architectural innovation and cultural identity. They stand as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the ancient Africans of Egypt, who, faced with the challenges of division and foreign invasion, found a way to create a lasting legacy. In conclusion, the division, the tomb raids, the foreign attack, and the creation of African Built were not isolated incidents. They were interconnected events that shaped the future of Egypt and Africa, influencing the course of history. These events were not just historical footnotes. They were defining moments that shaped the destiny of Egypt and Africa,